This is the first video I will do in a series of maybe 10 or so videos all about the same person and his family. I want to show you how to do this so that you can maybe add more people into the tree. You can find missing temple work. You won't just be comfortable ever again taking somebody to the temple without just doing the video or the interview that I'm going to show you right now. So each video will be important, and you'll be able to go back to each little segment and use it to help you to do the same thing. I'm going to start right here on the home page. You can see all of the tabs that are available here. I am signed in. I'm Angie Kivett. My maiden name is Saxton. I am using the new page, it says try the new homepage feature. I am using the new homepage feature. So throughout, I am using the newest and latest and greatest. So if you're not, you might want to go ahead and flip those switches and make so you see the same way that I see things. They're very similar, but this is just prettier and more updated. I happened to run across a card for Clifton Elwood Custard that I had printed in July of 2021. And before I handed him off to have somebody take care of this mail endowment, I wanted to just do a quick look-see and see if he still needed his work done. And that led me to some phenomenal discoveries I'm so excited to share with you. Up here, I am going to tap on Family Tree. A drop down is going to come here. Now this card has spoiled me as I'm finding Clifton in FamilySearch. I could search his name here, but instead I'm going to go find by ID because I happen to have that number. And when I tap in here, I did already do this, and so it populated here, but you can just type in that 7 numbers and letters and then click search, and that will take you right out to him. I happen to already have that open so I could save time. Here we are looking at him. There's that number. You can see just a quick little bit about him at the very top here, and then you can also see, you can look at him in the tree. You can look at the landscape or fan chart view, the descendancy view. There's a lot of views you can do it. You can also click here. I love this. Be sure you do this. Click on view relationship, and that is fun to see how you're related to the person. You can also, after you've spent time hanging out with somebody like I am here, you can see I'm the one who's added most of this information. In fact, all of it clear back in June of 2019, and no one's worked on it since. Here I am in 2023, and nobody else has worked on this but me, so maybe I would want to tap this and it would follow and send me emails anytime somebody added information, or maybe they try to delete this person and I can get a hold of them and see what's going on before they adjust this tree too much. Let's see, other things on here. We will talk later about these partner sites that are over here on the side. Those are amazing. You can write notes here. You can see the last changes that were made. Down here on the left, you can see that I have got the details. Well, let me show you this, guys. I have the details view turned on. I like to see who has been helping do the work and what they've added. If I were to tap that, it just closes that down, and it's really concise. You may prefer that view. Down here, you've got other information. If you find a nickname, they were called Doc because they ended up being a doctor at some point and nobody used his first name anymore. Then you could add in different information here. You don't want to put their nicknames up here in the name field when you're adding in these details. See where you can click that little pencil? That's where you could go in and add details. Different things that you learn as you go along and correct things. Maybe you only had the middle initial E and you later on learned it's Elwood, and so you'll come in here and click that and it'll put a field in there and it'll say, why are you changing this? And in the case where I found this information out, I just said the reason was I found the birth date on his death record. So I left behind a few little breadcrumbs about why I did what I did. Down here is where I really wanted to go to, but I had to tell you just a little bit about the page. I am now down at the bottom of this page looking at Clifton Elwood Custard's family situation. On this side, you're seeing him married and the potential for children here, and FamilySearch it looks like I'm the only one working on this guy, and I've not added in any children. I haven't gone any further with it since clear back in June when I was working on this. So there's some work to be done. Even a marriage date would be lovely. Now let's look at mom and dad. Over here you see Clifton's family as a young man, a little guy. Here's his dad, Arthur A. Would be fun to get a middle name. We definitely need to get a first and last name, or sorry, a birth and death date here. And Elizabeth Evelyn Dix, I'm assuming that's her maiden name. I happen to have worked forward through all 10 videos that I haven't made yet, but I do have something fun you'll see about that. And you do see her birth and death here, no marriage date for this little couple, and you see only 2 children. Now, if you're watching this and thinking, you're going, wow, I've got some questions. I wonder what she's going to find. And so this, I do want to show you another thing I do, folks. When I'm down here, I love, before I do anything else, to tap on. So I just tapped once. That's all I did was put my mouse on there. I tapped once, and this pulls up this little card that just tells me what's going on. If you hover, you can see that the gray means the work is completed, and it will show you when it was completed. If you hover over the blue, this shows that it has not been printed, but who it's reserved by, and you can see I've got that reserved. You've got other things you can go do. You could, let's go check out what the deal is with his wife. So I'll do one little click here. Now we've got all of her work done in the temple, except she does need to be sealed to her parents. And so we will check out Martha in another video and see what the deal is with her family. But over here with Clifton, we're going to come over here and tap on dad. Well, check this out. Because we don't have a birth or death, if I tap on one of the, oh, I didn't mean to tap on that. In fact, that's a good thing that I did. It says this person's record needs a standardized place in a birth, christening, death, burial, or cremation or marriage. He's got to have more information. I'm going to go back. He has to have more information in here for temple work to be done. That just wouldn't be right to just take this man to the temple without any other information to make sure nobody else is just taking another Arthur A. Custer to the temple, and we have all kinds of duplication taking place. Now, if we tap on mom, okay, mom's been to the temple. She just needs to be sealed to her spouse, which she can't be until he has been baptized and received his ordinances all the way up to where this couple can be sealed. We don't have a birth, a marriage. Let's see about his sister. All right, we need an endowment done, and that can be requested. I have not requested that yet. What's this one? Looks like the sealing to parents. I have reserved that, and the sealing to spouse is not requested. I haven't gone as far as to, you'll see in future videos a little bit more about Alice's life. All right, now up here is after you do this little bit that I just showed you, what I love to do is start tapping into their sources, because they're already attached and they hold all kinds of amazing information that maybe, look at this girl again, the person who's added these all in here are me. You'll oftentimes, most of the time, you'll see somebody else. I just happened to find one that worked so great for these videos, and I was one of the first people in here taking care of this person. You've got the 1910, a 1920, a 1930, a 1940, all about him. We've got a 1962 Virginia death record with Clifton's name attached to it for some reason. We'll look at those later. Oh, look at this. We've got an interesting thing where Clifton Elwood Custard is also in the entry of a guy named Forrest and a girl named Carol Elizabeth Custard Burner. We've also got down here a find a grave. Now, I find it interesting. I love that FamilySearch does this. It will put in chronological order these years if the algorithm can figure out what the year was from the record. It'll automatically stick it here. But notice that this find a grave did not add in that information. We happen to know it is 62, so I can just type in here 1962, oops, 1962. It wants me to pull this in there. That standardized it when you get this little calendar, and that way the algorithm can now read that. Now at this point, I really don't need to put a note. I'm not going to put a note. I didn't change anything. All I did was just add that date. So I'll just click save. And now when you go down here and look, now that's back up in the place where it should be, and chronologically makes sense for all those. Okay, in the next video, come back. You've got to see what's in Clifton's sources and what we're going to learn there.